really good smash burgers. I was like, can do.
But you don't trust anyone else to make a really good smash burger?
Yeah, I mean, not as much. Like, I trust other restaurants, but, like, I trust my own cooking prowess more than I probably should.
So you as a non-professional who worked how long at Tornado Room?
Like 5 years.
Okay, 5 years. So a very scant amount of time in your working life.
Okay.
Yeah, like
I
think
I see where you're going with
like
this.
with professional chefs, like people who are owning a business. Let's say Lee from Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, Tom from Buck and Honey's. Like any of these, they've dedicated their entire lives to this, and then they hire chefs and all that, and they dedicate their entire lives to creating the recipes and all that. You still maintain that you would make a better quality piece of food at home than the chefs would at some of these places.
Now,
Keith and Aaron and everyone north and south. Like,
now, don't get me wrong. They are fantastic. All of those establishments you just mentioned, aces. It's a great place to go for an anniversary any day of the week.
Yeah.
That said, I'm only making 2 meals. I can put 100% of my attention into 2 meals. These guys have a team of people making hundreds of meals a night. Like, I'm not saying that each meal doesn't get their undivided attention, but I've been in the kitchen. Sometimes, a little phrase we say, you get in the weeds. That's when there's a ton of...
Everyone who worked at a restaurant knows the term in the weeds.
Yeah, but not everyone who's listening has worked in a restaurant.
I know, so we say, like, how long ago did you work at a restaurant? Like, I just maintained that, like I worked in restaurants from, like, the age of 16 to almost 30. Yeah. So, like, when you say, like, I did 5 years, you're like, us restaurant folks. No, get out. Okay, so go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. It's just a little...
No, I get that, but in the weeds means really busy. Tons of tickets. I'm not going to say that...
What does behind you mean?
Someone's walking behind you.
Yeah.
Sharp.
Okay. I'm the only person on this panel that's never worked at a restaurant.
So did you know what the term in the weeds meant?
I mean, like, I know it in life. I don't know it in, like, a restaurant setting.
Exactly, because it works for life, too. It's not like the proprietary thing. Yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
Anyway, I just feel like if we go during, like, the busy time, if we're going at, like, 7:30 out to dinner, I know there's 15 tickets on the board, and these guys, they can't give my dish the attention that I would give my dish. Importantness.
That's all I'm saying. It's also a Tuesday.
Like,
they act like it's going to be like the busiest, most crazy place that they can't give your food the love and dedication it deserves.
I guarantee no cook in Madison is going to give the attention that I'm giving. It might be better. They might be better. But I am definitely going to give it 100% of my attention.
So what ingredients did you have to buy today for your anniversary dinner? Like, what is the anniversary dinner? Can you say it, or is it a surprise?
No, she wanted steak.
Okay.
One of her favorite sides is asparagus. Ryan, making asparagus.
Always.
I'm going to do my
I can make asparagus in 20 minutes at home as I have 5 kids hanging on me. Like.
For sure. I know it's none
Probably
of it's
not
hard,
as good.
but a properly cooked steak is important. I already have them sealed in a vacuum bag. They're in the sous vide. Running right now.
All right, well, that's not the
is that the water thing?
Yeah, that's the water bath.
I've seen that on Tournament of Champions.
I'm going to cook it up to about 125 degrees and then give them a really fast sear. I'm putting 100% of my effort and focus into this meal. I've already started prepping it.
Yeah, but it's still like one. These are going back to professionals who have not stopped doing this forever. And especially if you're trying to make a steak. So let's go like they still would make a better steak than you will, even on a busy night at Ruth's, because they are professional. Or any restaurant, any premier steak restaurant, they are professionals. They are paid to do this more than you were, because you were not like you did 5 years. Like, these people are going to school for it. They're like, it's their passion. They create these recipes. And I'm not saying you don't make a great steak. I'm sure you do. My point is,
I do.
Is if you would, I think you would lose like in a 100-to-1 like cook-off, like with any of the chefs in the Madison area.
Because they're just focusing on the one dish. If they had to do 150 in a night, and I only had to do one, and they were randomly selected one of those 150 meals,
I still think
and they picked mine, I think it would be a fair contest.
You think way too much of yourself, because you are good.
I do.
You are, because if I flip this and put it into curling terms, you'd be mortally offended.
Sweep.
Do it. Flip it into curling terms and offend me, big boy.
But I don't know the equivalent. But like someone who like curls on the side and then just,
one of your beer
Jared
drinking
Allen
buddies
beating you at curling at an event. I'm not saying he's better than you as a curler. He just happened to win that one off, right?
Yeah, so you're saying
so
I could win in the Madison. I could win a one-off.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm
Well,
saying that
if
Jared Allen is better at
can do it,
curling
so
than
can
you.
I.
No, Jared Allen is better at curling than you are.
You just proved
Then you
my
are
point,
cooking.
Jim.
No.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
How about you make enough steak to bring in some for us to taste test, and we will tell you
Molly,
tomorrow.
Always thinking about food.
That is,
There you go.
it's an elite level there.
Then we'll
so-
be the judge.
I like
So
where
this
your
is what
head's
I
at.
would ask.
though.
I'm not gonna. We're gonna like the relationship side of things. Like, look, if you and Jen like want to stay home for the anniversary, like everyone's different on that. Like that part, I'm not gonna judge or anything for it because like there's plenty of nights where, like for my birthday, I'm like I kind of just want to have pizza. The kids are gone.
Yeah.
I just want to have pizza from our favorite place and like watch movies because we never
Yeah.
get to just be in our house by ourselves. That's what I want to do. And so like, I'm not gonna judge that part. I'm not gonna yuck your yum.
Right.
But I do want to ask this question in general. 844-770-3776. Carbos Talking text line. This is more. Our Siding Limited poll question to start the show off with is, do you go out to dinner for the experience or for the food? Now, you can make, look, special occasions and things like that blend into it, but like, as parent, I guess, Molly, I won't speak for you, but I'll say this as like, for my wife and I, like, going out is a special occasion because we don't get a chance to go out just the two of us.
Right.
So anytime that we do, we want to be able to have, obviously, we want to have good food and the experience, and we balance it out. Do we want to go to some of our favorite places? Do we want to try somewhere new because we don't want to risk something that we might not like? But we want to make sure that like when I lived in Florida, there's all these restaurants on the ocean, and I'd go down there, and a lot of times I'd be like, yeah, the food was okay, the portions are small, and I just paid like a $30 tax just to be sitting at the ocean. So then I was like more annoyed. So I honestly like there was a line of how much did the experience matter, how much the food matter. I'm far more of like, give me great food, and my wife I think is on the same level of it as opposed to the experience. Now if you're on vacation, it's different, but you get the idea. So 844-770-3776, Carbos Talk text line. List is more. Siding Limited poll question. We'll post at Jim, Matt, and Molly. Do you go out to dinner for the food or the experience? Not with you both, but which one weighs heaviest?
I feel like I kind of land somewhere in the middle, right? Because I'm obviously going.
Have an opinion.
I know, have an opinion. No, I'm going because I'm obviously want the experience of. Let's just say I'm going out with my husband. I want to be with my husband apart from all my kids, right? So part of it is that, but then the other part is just like I'm just happy I don't have to cook a meal. Like I don't care. Like it's not even like okay if the food is gross, okay, that sucks. But like if the food is just fine, I might just end up being like, I'm good. I didn't have to cook. I don't have to clean it up. Like. That's a great experience. So I guess I land more on the experience side versus like the food actually needing to taste good. Because it's just at this point it's like it's a meal. I didn't have to cook myself. I didn't have to buy the groceries for it. I didn't have to clean it up. I'm good.
Is that experience or convenience? That sounds more like
See,
convenience.
this is very much
Like
convenience.
you could be at
yes.
Culver's for that. Like,
No,
which is
100%.
fine. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
There's times where I'm like, you know what? We're just going, like you said, we're going to Culver's because don't want to cook.
Yeah.
Like that happens. But also when you're paying a babysitter tab as well on top of it, the experience, like just to be in a good place that feels comfortable, you have good service, like that is important. If you're paying for us, you're paying a babysitter to watch 3 little kids, it's not cheap,
Yeah. So you want that experience because if you don't get it, then what's the point?
True.
I'm all about the experience. And Jim, you're going to hate this. Mostly because, like, I like the date night, right? I like going out and, you got a server and you order whatever you want. You have a whole menu. Like, you don't obviously have all those ingredients on your own.
Yep.
And part of the experience that I really love is I'll turn to my wife and be like, this is what I would have done with this. And again,
Judgmental Jim.
the other part of it
Judgmental
too
Matt.
is like when I cook on my own, I feel like I can really do it the way I want it. Like I've come to like the realization, especially I'm having a ribeye tonight. I'm very particular. Like I don't quite want it medium, but I think medium rare is a little too rare. I don't think it renders the fat in the ribeye as well. So like there's like a sweet spot, and I hate asking, can I get it somewhere between medium and medium rare? It's like, because the cook I know has 7 ribeyes on the grill, and he's got to figure it out. So like, again, I'm there for the experience, the food. A lot of times it's really, really good, and I'm thrilled we went out. Even when it's not, I'm still vibing with the experience. Like that's why I'm going out to eat, is for the date, the experience of being out just the two of us, the conversation that we're gonna have while someone else is cooking my food, as opposed to her like coming into the kitchen and be like, you're in my way, or like, can you get the salad stuff ready because I'm really dialed in on the asparagus right now. I can't be bothered by salad. So that, like, missing that experience is fine. Like, I want to go out and just enjoy my time with my wife.
Also, again, like, no kids. Like, you know,
totally.
like,
Sure,
like
for
there's
sure.
no cooking with my wife. Like, it's a matter of like she makes great meals, and it's about like getting out something that is really good as quick as possible so the kids can eat, or planning ahead
or
like
as
a crock
easy.
pot.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
That's my thing too. Is like, we're gonna eat anywhere from 7 to 8:30.
So, like,
when
Nope,
it's ready,
as
it's
soon
ready.
but honestly, by the time I get home around like 7 every night, like my kids are ready for dinner and they're ready to eat right then and there. Even like the babies, the twins now, because they're eating actual baby food. So it's like 7 o'clock hits. They're ready to eat.
And with like, I am now used to eating at a certain time. So like that if you ever have kids, like that will change because they have to eat at a set time, and then you
5:30.
get,
No,
but
I'm
then
just
you
kidding.
get used to it. Like that's the weird part is then like you're like, well, I'm gonna eat dinner with my kids, so then like I'm used to eating at this set time, and then all of a sudden you're very hungry, or your wife will get very hungry, and all of a sudden it's like it's 8 o'clock. We're supposed to eat at 7:15. We're all hangry now because we're all very upset. So one other thing, Maya, that I noticed here with Matt is that like I don't think he respects what's the word here? Respects professionalism or
Oh, boy.
or
Whoa.
respects people's like the ability to be experts.
Okay.
Because he thinks that, like, he can hit a ball that Devin Robinson will spike. He thinks he can kick field goals better than that. He thinks he can hit a baseball. He thinks he can everything. Like Matt, there's no humility in Matt. There's not like, you're right. Like I want to make things a specific way at home, and like it's good. We enjoy it. I'll make it better. Like
That also
because
might be
that's
the reason why Matt Hamilton is an Olympic gold medalist and we are not.
Maybe.
He saw other people and he was like, you know what? I could do that
That's
better.
definitely what happened. There's a curler that I'm actually really good friends with right now. His name's Craig. He was national champion in like 2001 and 2000. I saw him play in the Olympic trials in 2005, my third year curling, and I was like, if he can make it to an Olympic trial playing in Madison, why can't I?
Well, that's a
Remember when
different.
Curling Matty
That
Hamilton
is
went
a
into Canada and
different.
said this is our game now. You remember that?
That's a
I
different
remember
setup
that,
than like
Pat McAfee.
And there's also documented proof that Matt is good at curling. The rest of it, and again, Matt is good at cooking, but it's a string of everything.
That is
Matt,
true. He's not wrong.
Has no respect for expertise at all. Like it is.
How about instead of not respecting expertise, just maybe having a little too much confidence in myself? Because I definitely respect everybody that's doing it. I just also think I can, which I probably
you can make
wrong.
very good meals for you and your wife, probably better than most.
Yes,
But like chefs go out to like you could have some humble pie. Like chefs go out to dinner other places.
You could probably
I
make that
have
humble pie
had
better.
meals that I'm like, wow, this is I could
Like,
not recreate.
I
this.
know for a fact, like Keith and Aaron and JD and all the folks at North and South, like good chefs, they go to restaurants everywhere to taste the food everywhere to get ideas and about ambiance, about the food. Like they're open to like, hey, someone might do something better than me. You're like, no, I do it the best. Nobody's gonna make it better. I got it.
No.
That's just what you said, though, right?
Well, in a way, there are certainly times where I will try something and I'll see it and be like, wow, that was super duper good.
Yeah.
I wonder how I could cater that to my palate. So like, it's more of like, it's better to me because
You're tweaking it a little.
Yeah, I would have used shallot instead of red onion or something, right? Like, I think I would have enjoyed that more. So it's not always like I would make it better for the masses. I would make it better for what I'm looking for.
So this
I love me some
This
meat.
is why it doesn't sound like it's fun to be a foodie, because I think I'd rather just go out to eat and be like, you know what, this was really dang good. I enjoyed it.
But I will say, like, going back to our initial question, we do end up mostly staying home. Like, I couldn't even tell you the last time that we really actually went out to dinner, just the two of us, let alone even, like, our entire family. Because, like, it's just, I don't know. Like, my go-to birthday dinner that my husband makes for me is, like, steak fajitas. I love it. The way he makes them, so good. Like, I don't need to go spend $30 a plate at a Mexican restaurant or something just to get the same thing, even if because it might taste just a little bit better because he makes it, I don't know, maybe a little more authentic. I don't know. But, so it's like, we don't tend to go out. So I'm not saying I'm hating on you for that. I'm just saying if I'm going to go out.
We never said it was hating on him for it. I don't go out a lot either. And I love going out. It's just with the kid. And we only have 2 kids, so it's not too much. They're old enough now. It's okay to go out. Like I think it's a fun experience to go out. 920, with just an old curmudgeon take on it. I'll paraphrase here. I never worked in the restaurant industry. I'm a pretty good cook. I'd rather eat my own food than at restaurants. Everything's overpriced because you have to pay for, service and everything else around it. And the only reason we go out is convenience for my wife rather than experience it cooking home together. So
Judgmental.
Again, cooking home together is a different thing, but being able to cook home together is not on the table, I guess, for Molly and I. I can't do it with my kids.
Right.
Nope. One kid
It's not on
is
the table
one
for
kid.
me either because I will watch my wife cook something and be like, I could have done that better.
But then Jake and Mezil chimes in, don't want to push you around. We choose to cook at home. Again, we do too. So we're not pushing you. I'm pushing you around on your arrogance about your cooking. We stay home for plenty of meals. It is a special treat to go out. My wife doesn't like to go out a ton because no matter how good that food is, it's still not as healthy as what you're making at home too.
That's true.
No matter
That's
where you're
the
going.
restaurant secret.
Yeah.
A lot of butter and everything.
A lot of
Is
butter.
there?
And, I'm just guessing salt and sugar. They make great food, but if you're trying to be healthy on that, you can't eat out all the time. So for us, it's maybe twice a month. We'll probably all go out as a family, and that's probably it. And then the rest of the time, any special occasions, we'll cook at home. Plenty of times I've cooked steaks and things like that at home and made the way that I make them. I'm sure not as good as Matt's, but
Probably not, actually.
Yeah.
If I was going to choose whose steak I want to eat, I think I want to eat Matt's steak.
I did work in the restaurant industry for a long time, and I make a pretty great, and I got a lot of friends who work in the restaurant industry, like our good friend at Lee at Roost Chris
I was
Steakhouse.
going to say, the next time we go to Roost Chris, how about you guys just put on
Lee
your
did
chef
that I'll
caps
never
and
forget
everything?
is Lee gave me a recipe how to make them, but also it was around COVID. I got hooked up with some steaks from Roost to take home.
Ooh.
And then I
Amazing.
made them at home. He gave me the recipe, and I like to smoke the steaks first before I sear them and everything.
Smoke 'em?
It's called reverse sear.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bring it up to temp and then give it that nice crust.
Yeah. So
Smart man.
Okay, great idea. Ryan, you're going to be all in on this. Chrissy, you too, right? Okay, we have a steak cook-off, and then us three get to decide who is the better steak maker.
we could do that, or Matt can make the meal. I can make the drinks. I was a bartender more than anything else.
Okay.
I'm in for that.
There you
Make
go.
me a sick mocktail.
There you go. Absolutely. But you can go see Lee at Roost Chris Steakhouse if you do want to have a nice night out and you do want to experience the expertise. And I know Matt wasn't knocking him. I just had to, bring up some of those places. But whether
It's
Kevin
great.
and Lee over
High
there.
quality steaks. Every steak is prime out at Roost Chris.
Yes. No. And again, I get your point of you are a great cook, and if that's what your wife likes, I started the segment by saying I'm not yucking your yum about staying at home and doing all that, because there's plenty of nights where we just stay home for we've talked about before. My wife makes a grasshopper pie or a butterfinger pie for my birthday. It's my favorite thing. She makes it. Usually I say I just want to stay home. Mm-hmm. I don't want to deal with the whole hassle. I don't want to do the whole thing about going out. But I also don't have the delusion that I'm better than everyone out there.
That's nice to imagine.
844-770-3776. Our signing limited poll question: do you go out to dinner for the food or the experience? This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
It's a cork dork.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Celebrate the 4th with family, friends, and unbeatable appliance deals at Brothers Maine. Our fireworks of savings on top brands like Whirlpool, plus next-day delivery, will make you ooh and ah. Visit us today and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
Hi, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. Our years of experience have prepared us to guide you through your life transitions. Our local professional team brings over 90 years of collective experience in the wealth management industry for the benefit of our clients. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started on your financial future today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Hey, Matt Hamilton here to tell you about the delicious Odyssey Brands, a family-owned company crafting award-winning cheese right here in Wisconsin for over 4 generations. Made with locally sourced milk, Odyssey brings bold, Greek-style flavors straight to your table. From savory, crumbly feta to rich and creamy Greek yogurt, every bite is a taste of tradition and quality. You can find Odyssey products at most major retailers nationwide and online. Odyssey, crafted in Wisconsin, loved everywhere, dairy done right.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Matt Hamilton here for Leinekugels, the craft beer that showcases a commitment to tradition and quality, founded in 1867 in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. No matter where I'm at, on the ice, on my boat, or if I'm just watching the big game, I always have a Leine's in my hand. Whether it's the refreshing summer shandy, the smooth honey vice, or my personal favorite, the juicy peach, there's a delicious flavor for every moment. Pick it up wherever you get delicious beer, but remember, you gotta be 21 years or older to enjoy.
If you're considering solar energy, Suite of Metal Roofing and solar panels go hand in hand.
Solar panels install effortlessly over metal, and it enhances the efficiency of your solar energy.
Before you go solar,
install a Suite of Metal roof.
I'm Mike.
And Mary Suita. Enjoy the long-lasting architectural strength and beauty of a Suite of Metal roof.
SWITA metalroofing.com.
Suite of Metal Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
At Gruber Law Offices, we've helped tens of thousands of families after a serious accident. Our priority has always been our clients. We're here for you whenever you may need us. One call, that's all.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
I see the crystal raindrops fall, and the beauty of it all is when the sun comes shining through to make those rainbows in my mind. When I think of you sometime, and I want to spend some time with you, just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us.
We got Jason Wilde coming up next. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. Jim Rutledge, Molly Brown with you in the Everlight Solar Studio. Primetime Warsheim
Matt Hamilton
with us
is
as well. I don't know what Matt Hamilton
pretending
is
to be
Jaden
Reed.
It might want to be someone better than Jaden Reed. We'll get to that a little bit later. Bill Barnwell had a story out there. Matt, what were you?
I was just throwing the football with a teammate.
You think you're better than Jordan Love now
He
throwing
does.
the ball?
No, it depends on the throw. I'm just kidding.
I mean, you might not be wrong.
If I've got this
Inconsistent.
football, maybe.
You can stream us on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream, and I believe Ryan can put this up here. There was a restaurant in Milwaukee that's getting dragged, and I'll get to it in a second here. We do have a Siding Unlimited poll question, 844-770-3776. We are asking you, that's the Carbos Talking text line, but we are asking you, basically, what do you go out to dinner for, the food or the experience? And obviously it's a mix of both, but we were making you pick one. 86% of you say the food right now, and that's the Carbos Talking text line. Less is more. 86% of... No, I'm just kidding.
Take that for that.
That's
like
wild.
going out to dinner with an old man. What? What'd you say? Who?
Here's the thing. I don't want to turn my flashlight on to read the menu. I don't have to do that at home.
Oh, that is the worst. On the menus, too, that have, like, you open them and then the light turns on. It's like, all right, it might be a little too dark in here if I can't read it.
So I don't know.
What am I not supposed to be seeing here?
and it is up at the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. You can stream us on ESPN, on the ESPN Wisconsin app, but on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream, you can see a spaghetti flight. And
what?
It's a tweet here from someone, Lumi, and it says, Milwaukee food scene is underrated and deserves respect. I don't disagree with that. Although I think at times Milwaukee food scene is so talked about it being underrated, it's now inching towards being overrated. Like, it is good though. I don't know anyone out there really anymore who's like Milwaukee food stinks, like, or Milwaukee doesn't have a good food scene. Like, if you're a major city, you got positives.
You're gonna have options. You're gonna have good options.
But it said crew dinner last night. Yes, this is a pasta flight, and all I could think about is the sound that the pile of noodles would make as you. No.
Sorry.
That's not the sound I was thinking about, Molly. Goodness. I was thinking of the slop of like slopping these noodles down onto the wood pallet.
That's how you know it's good pasta, though, if it has that sound.
Yeah, but
like, do you want to mix together? Like,
they could have used bowls. That's the thing I don't understand. Why don't you have a bowl on this wooden, like, cutting board, essentially?
Yeah, if an Italian sees that, they're going to go, Mamma mia, what do you do to the pasta?
Why when you went to Italy, is that what they told you? Or like,
no, they wouldn't serve 4 different kinds of pasta on a wooden board.
Well, also, like,
they put them in bowls.
Like, they've got, like, stroganoff. They've got Alfredo. I think I see some meatball. Like, this is, no.
But is there some, like, Asian noodles in there, too,
that's what
honestly?
It looks like.
Yeah, it looks like it's a mix of cuisines.
Who is asking for this? Because this is like a shared appetizer.
If I saw, like, a pasta flight, I'd be interested.
Yeah, it is such an intriguing thing. A pasta flight's like, I love carbs. I like sauce.
I love flights.
I love flights of things and variety, because variety is the spice of life.
So you would have ordered it.
But I would expect it to come on, like, in, like, bowls.
Or, like if they had, like, a special plate that had 4 indentations where, they could clearly go, it's still a flight.
Like a relish tray.
It's not like you ask for a flight of, like, different beers and they mix them all in one cup.
Right.
Like, they give you 4 different cups.
But also, like
that same premise should be
I don't think
taken
a pasta
to this.
lends itself to a flight because also it's filling if it's an appetizer. Like, you're getting a flight usually
Would you
as an
take
appetizer.
a steak flight?
Yeah, but a steak flight,
right?
Steak anything.
But like a steak flight, like you could cut up like, let's say a table for like 4 thin cuts of everything. But that's like, let's say 3, like that's not that filling. Pasta is filling in nature.
True.
Eating, and if you're trying all 4 of them, you're gonna get full. And like how you divvying it up, like how you sharing. It's not really. Now, if you wanted to tell me you were going to like a family style Italian restaurant and they brought out 4 different giant bowls of the pasta, and it's a pasta flight, and then you could kind of make your own sort of like, oh, I want these noodles with this sauce, and like I'll put it together like that. Like
a build your own pasta.
Yeah, but a family style restaurant. There was I forgot there was one in Milwaukee that I used to go to. It was great, and you could everyone would share the food, and you would get a couple different types of pasta, and then pick out what you wanted. Maybe you'd have a little bit, but not as your appetizer, and not like in this. On a board, because I feel like the board also holds in flavor.
You can see it too, like on the edge of the picture, you can see where someone like kind of scraped the pasta off and it like dripped off the board. Molly, from front to back, it looks like it goes carbonara, spaghetti and meatballs, Alfredo, and then it looks like a steak pesto kind of pasta.
But then also, like, why are we doing spaghetti and meatballs in the like? Everyone knows spaghetti and meatballs. If I go to a restaurant, I don't need spaghetti and meatballs in the fly.
Also, meatballs, I'm out.
What?
Gross.
You don't like meatballs?
There's a big old ball of meat to like.
Do you like burgers?
You have a fork.
Yes.
The only difference in a meatball and like
ugh.
a burger is essentially smashing it flat.
Yeah, it just grosses me out.
Okay, that's
grosses
fair.
me out. Just too much meat in. It's too dense of meat. Yeah,
no, I get
too
it.
much meat in one bite.
Do you like meatloaf?
I love meatloaf. I know.
That's a big meatball.
I know. It's weird.
I like
textures.
meatloaf. It's one of those things where I don't love the name of it, just from like it sounds like
meatloaf, like a loaf of meat.
Yeah. And it's also too on point, like computer. It's like, oh, it computes. Like it's a computer. Like it's just one of those things where I get bothered by things that are too on point. Like
I get it.
Yeah,
same with meatball. Okay, I got it. It's a ball of meat.
True.
You could be a little clever with it. The French, and you have all these fancy names for cooking, like
this is why the English
sous vide and fun French names. You're like, that's a meatball.
This is why the American language is kind of meh. What is that? What should we call it? It's a ball of meat. Let's go meatball.
Mm-hmm.
That's a loaf of meat. Meatloaf. This computes things. Computer.
Yeah.
Great. Wow, what a beautiful language.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk to Jason Wilde coming up in a second here. But Carver World Health, Molly, you love it over there. Obviously, I love going there, but you love going there.
Oh, I love going to their brand new location in the Prairie Lake Shopping Center. Guys, I'm actually going, let me look at my calendar, next week Friday. Next week Friday is my next hydrofacial, and I've just been loving the results. I mean, I really didn't know what to expect for my first one almost 6 weeks ago. I was kind of like, oh, it's just going to make my skin a little dewy, a little glowy for a week or two. No, like my results are lasting. I'm loving the way that my skin looks. So if you want to get started on your health and wellness journey, head over to Carbon World Health at their brand new location in the Prairie Lake Shopping Center. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
It was the nastiest looking hot dog I think I've ever seen in my life. It was like beige with like mustard squirted like in random spots.
It is like a Jackson Pollock painting with the mustard just all over the place. Matt claims to be an Olympic athlete, and he can't properly squeeze out mustard in a straight line.
Yeah, no, not great.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Live the high life and get into the nitty-gritty, home of the award-winning Gritty Burger and Madison's official birthday place. Enjoy a full menu including sandwiches, specialty burgers, wraps, salads, and weekend brunch. With the family-friendly environment, it's a great place to watch the big game. Plus, they've got Miller High Life Power Hour specials daily. Located in downtown Madison, Middleton, and Sun Prairie. The Nitty-Gritty, a tradition since 1968. Also enjoy high life at Bar Coralini, Paradise Lounge, and Jordan's Big Ten Pub.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Clinky Cleaner CFO, Sean Young.
The local part is what's key for us. Madison is a local community, and that's what I look at with James Imaging. When I talk to our account rep, he's local.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation, and great people.
I'd say the people at James Imaging are the top of the line for us. They know us, we know them. They take the time to listen to us when we have questions. They make it easy.
And Sean Clinky Cleaners makes it easy for their customers too.
Yes, at Clinky's, we need to be the expert in the field. We want to make life easier for them, and that's what James Imaging does for us.
Sean, any advice for others?
I would say give James Imaging a call. They've been great to us.
James Imaging Systems. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Siding Unlimited is Wisconsin's leader in Pella window installation. In fact, we are Wisconsin's only Pella Platinum Premier Certified contractor, and we've won Pella's prestigious National Contractor of the Year award 5 times. It's easy to get started. The process starts with homeowners meeting us at Siding Unlimited's amazing showroom on 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. Trust me, our showroom is a must-see. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on social media for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
Celebrate Happy Gilmore 2 at the Bridges. On Sunday, July 27th, play in the Be Happy 2 or 4-person scramble for $120 per person. Includes 18 holes of golf with a cart, prizes, and dinner. Find more details at golfthebridges.com today.
If you want a fresh twist on surf and turf, look no further than North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. Inspired by their time living in the Alaskan Gulf in southern Texas, owners Keith and Aaron brought together unique culinary backgrounds to create a truly authentic American restaurant here in Madison. After expanding to 2 more locations in DeForest and Verona, you can savor smoky, wood-fired barbecue and freshly prepared seafood from around the country. Explore their full menu and dining options at eatnorthandsouth.com. That's eatnorthandsouth.com.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Jason, quick
You
question.
are one of one.
3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year.
Thank you for helping me prove my point, Molly.
You're
Because
welcome.
my point. Well, is this Matt Hamilton?
Molly said it best. I said fart in the bathtub. She said gross.
Do you have a question for Jason, or how is he supposed to
No,
respond to
he
this?
asked the questions to me. No bad.
By hanging up.
Jason Wilde is on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
We are thrilled to be joined by Jason Wilde on Jim, Matt, and Molly. Jim Rutledge, Molly Brown, and Matt Hamilton with you. Jason Wilde on the phone. Primetime War, Simon Chrissy Burt's on the Everlight Solar Studio with us as well. You can stream us on the ESPN Wisconsin app and on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. And Jason, before we get to some football stuff, because I think we have some we've been able to dig up. It's list season, including you. You have your list at channel3000.com. Lots of good stuff out there. But would you eat a pasta flight that is 4 different types of pasta slopped onto a board served at a restaurant, like as an appetizer?
Is it hot? Is it cold?
It's
is
hot.
it individual? Is it an individual, like, is the board like hollowed out so they're
Nope.
separated, or
It
are
is
they
a piece of
touching
wood.
each other?
It is
It is
a
a
flat
flat-
piece of wood that probably was served as a flight for something else.
Yeah.
Matt, what were the were the pastas? Do you remember?
Yeah, it looked like carbonara, like a spaghetti and meatballs, a Alfredo of some sort, and then looked like kind of like steak and like a creamy pesto.
And it was like at
And
the
you're
table.
telling me that
All of them were
these
just slopped on a
sauces-
board.
All right,
Touching.
so again, I know. Yeah.
Mingling.
I know you guys know this. I am a huge proponent of the divided plate.
Yeah.
In fact, the girls have long outgrown those types of plates, and we still have them for me.
Good for you.
I don't want my stuff touching other foods. So the idea of pastas, which I think I'm open to all 4 of those types of pasta being anywhere near each other, like those sound like they would even challenge the structure of my divided plates, that there could be some, crossover saucing, and I will not stand for that. So no, I am out on that.
Sauce
That's a terrible-
contamination.
So and that's what I thought. Unfortunately,
Good. Hey, that was way better than I ever expect from you, frankly. Well done.
Thank you.
it was an unfortunate tweet where someone was trying to. They were saying that the Milwaukee food scene was underrated, which I don't disagree with. But then they put out just had a pasta flight and they're getting dragged because it looks gross. It's like
They took a picture after they pulled like
Yeah,
a
so there's,
plateful,
like-
so there's like sauce falling off the edge of the board.
yeah.
Gross.
So it just didn't like it. It worked exactly the opposite.
Yeah.
Like we all look like rubes here in Wisconsin or whatever. Like let's get a pasta
4
flight.
kinds of pasta. I thought it was just spaghetti and meatballs.
Right. So
As a proud Milwaukee native who agrees, as Jim, you just said, that it is definitely underrated. I would say to this person, don't help.
right.
Okay, don't help. We're good.
Do less.
There's a lot of different rankings and things going on right now on social media. I got a kick out of. I want to give. I'm not a big fan of PFT, but Chase Daniel joined PFT, and I am a fan of him. Former career backup, including with the Bears, some, and he did his PMT. I'm sorry, did his QB rankings, and I love how he did it. I'll run through it quickly, Jason. He said the elite. There was 5: Josh Allen, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. Jaden Daniels just got his own tier. And then you got technically Super Bowl champion tier, Stafford, Rodgers, and Jalen Hurts. Great QBs, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, C.J. Stroud, Brock Purdy, Justin Herbert. Good QBs, Trevor Lawrence, Bo Nix. And then this is where Jordan Love falls into. Now he's at the top end of this list, but Jordan Love, Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, Tua, Bryce Young, Kyler Murray, Joe Flacco. And that grouping was called Will Change Game to Game. What did you think about the way he
Come
described
on.
it?
Hit him with the last category, too.
Oh, the last category was Saints QB number 32, whoever is the Saints QB. But I want to actually get to the Packers stuff of it. So,
Yeah, I'm intrigued by that too. Look, first of all, you're right. It is listicle season, and everyone's doing it for different reasons. I personally, besides doing it for clicks, because obviously it's free to read everything on channel3000.com, which wasn't the case with my State Journal work. But for me anyway, it's not so much about my opinion on guys. It's more, for my thought process, a vehicle to kind of serve as a primer for people getting ready for training camp, which is going to be here before you know it, and kind of give you a taste of what the storylines are, the guys that this team is going to rely on to come through with either huge seasons or at least improved seasons. So I'm not reinventing the wheel there. I mean, I guess I invented it back in 2010, but this I'm fascinated by. And the primary reason is that's an awfully low spot to have Jordan Love in compared to everything I'm told by Packers fans who think I don't know what the hell I'm talking about for suggesting that he has a lot to prove still about just how good he is. And I don't will change game to game. Like, I'm not even sure then that Chase Daniel, who I agree is a really smart guy, I think he's gotten off to a really good start in his post-playing career as an analyst, and kind of done it, dare I say, a little bit the Dan Orlovsky way, where you're kind of just putting stuff out there, and then people notice, and then bigger companies decide, hey, this guy might actually be useful to us. I like what he's done, and I'm intrigued by this because he obviously has different credentials than I do, and that is not a very high ranking of Jordan Love. And I'd be curious what he had to say about him.
And I'll see if we can find more info on that one. I want to follow up on it with you that we asked the question yesterday about like the best backfields in the NFC North, and we said that clearly it had to be the Lions when you're considering they have Gibbs and Montgomery. But the other question that we kind of stumbled into and I wanted to ask you is that and again, this is just kind of farcical question for this time of year, but I will die on this hill because everyone says that Jared Goff is a product of his coaching, that if Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, and David Montgomery just came to the Packers.
Walk into a bar.
Well, they go to the Packers, and Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, and Wilson or Lloyd go to Detroit. The Packers are winning the division. The Packers are a Super Bowl contender because you give Jared Goff, Matt LaFleur, and I think Matt LaFleur codes it when he says Jordan needs to let it rip. He means like when Jordan sees it, throws it. Jared Goff is excellent at that. And then you have that running game with the way that Matt LaFleur wants to coach. Like that, if they made that trade, the Packers are exponentially better than the Lions would be in that move. Like I know it's kind of out there, but what do you think about that idea?
Yeah. So first of all, a couple things. I mean, one, I think Jared Goff is underappreciated and underrated, and I understand that he made it to a Super Bowl, and they put up 3 points offensively, right? If I remember, 13-3 was the final there. And I understand that, he didn't play well in the playoff game, and those are the things that people remember. But this narrative that he just stinks, and it's all just smoke and mirrors, is just ridiculous. Like
agreed.
To your point, like he is. And look, this is what I want from my quarterback. Unless he is so incredibly special, like Rodgers. Again, people are, I have so far curtailed my my Twitter usage and my social media usage, but every once in a while I make the mistake of going in the For You column of Twitter, and there's certainly some things that I don't want to do, but I do end up stumbling upon a lot of things from content creators who are really just taking NFL film that they shouldn't be allowed to post on social media and using it. But it's really interesting to me because they put together all these clips of various, Rodgers 40-yard touchdown passes. Well, it's like a 12-minute video. Like, he was truly special. And I think that's really impressive that when you look at, those guys that are special, you get reminded, because obviously I'm not watching all those throws as regularly. But I think it's really interesting to see that, Jordan Love has not reached that point yet, and Jared Goff is not of that talent level, but they are functional within their offenses. And that's kind of my point that I'm stumbling through here, is that the idea of if you have someone who's really special who can do things that no one else can, great. If you don't, you need guys that are going to run the offense in a manner that is really going to be productive and effective and do what the coach wants them to do. And I think that Jared Goff does that immensely well. He did it for Sean McVay, and he did it for Ben Johnson. And if he continues to do that for their new offensive coordinator, they're going to continue to be a threat. If Jordan Love does that better than he has to this point, I think they'll also be in a really good place. The Packers will be. But again, he did not do it consistently enough, in my opinion, that I feel real good about it.
Jason, as you said before, you have your own list, most important Packers of 2025 on channel3000.com. Today you had number 13, Jayden Reed and Dontavian Wicks. To me, when I see this, kind of concerning, considering that we're all presuming that Jayden Reed is going to be the number one wide receiver until hopefully Matthew Golden breaks out. I mean, should Packers fans be concerned that you have him listed at number 13?
No, because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
I think you know what you're talking about.
Well, I mean, he put two people in one slot, so how much does he know what he's talking about?
Yeah, first of all, very fair point. Second of all, the reality is that it's not really about where guys are ranked. Like, I did that because there are some guys that I think are more important, but he's on the list. And I want people to read that story because I do think it's interesting how those two are so inextricably linked, him and Wicks. But, the stuff that I was reading, I think somebody sent it to me this morning from Justice Mosqueda about how Reed was used, which was very similar to some of the things that our very own, very smart Gabe Neitzel was saying during the State of the Packers about, his number of snaps and how often he was used outside and all this other stuff. Look, I think Jayden Reed's a really good football player. I think they need to be smarter with how they use him. I think he is capable of being an outside receiver. I think he's very much in the same vein as Randall Cobb. And if, they're not going to have Christian Watson until later in the year, which, again, Tausch seems to think before Halloween, great if that ends up being the case. The fact of the matter is that, if they need him to be that number one wide receiver, is he Justin Jefferson? No, but I think he's been pretty damn productive the last 2 years, and he hasn't played an inordinate amount of snaps. He's not playing 85% of the snaps. So I'm a Jayden Reed believer, but again, I don't know. I don't know how that position's going to shake out. And while I may have those guys where they are, tomorrow I can tell you I've coupled two more wide receivers together, and they'll be at 12 together. But again, who knows what this wide receiver group ultimately is going to look like, because there's going to be lots of guys vying for opportunities and a finite number of those opportunities, especially when you think about that. I still think they want to run the ball a ton with Josh Jacobs, and I think they still want to have a lot of two tight end sets that they're going to run.
That's a valid point. I still think you should try and put one player per spot, but I will let it slide because that
I don't care
seems
what
like
you
a
think.
fair explanation. Hey, from one guy to another, a friend just giving you some friendly advice.
Doesn't sound too friendly.
Again, Matt trying to talk to professionals about how he's better at their job.
One thing I definitely can't do is I cannot
Jason,
write better
we've
than
established
Jason.
that Matt has no respect for people's expertise because he thinks he's a better chef than most restaurants that go out there. He thinks he can hit a ball from Devin Robinson. He thinks he can hit a ball off
The Miz.
He thinks he can kick field goal. Like, Matt has no respect for expertise. Like, basically, Matt just thinks he can do anything.
You think you could hit a ball off the Miz?
Well, first of all,
talked him out of it.
Definitely. And I was just saying, if I stood there and all I had to do was make contact and, like, I'm bunting, and they were like, you couldn't even get the bat on it. And Gabe Neitzel talked me out of it. And honestly, I don't think I'm returning one on Devin Robinson, a spike. I think I could get under it, but I don't ever think I'm getting in play. I will get hit by it.
Yeah, your goal should not be to not die.
Yeah, literally.
Right. Or break a
Don't get a black
bone in your
eye.
face. Yeah. She can break
I've
your
got
nose.
a pretty hard head.
Your nose?
Not much cartilage there.
Again, this is it. He won't even admit, most likely outcome is that I ended up with a bruise and maybe a broken nose.
I'll probably have a black eye. Like if I got hit in the face, for sure.
It's like I don't know if this is too old of a movie because I know there's a lot of young people on the panel here, but it's almost like Meet the Parents when Stiller goes up for the spike when they're playing like volleyball in the pool. That's what's going to happen to you. I just don't want to. You got a beautiful face, man. This is a terrible idea.
He's blushing.
I don't know about beautiful, but
he does
thank
not
you, Jason.
need. Jason, we've established he does not need his ego stroked.
Please do not.
Now he's going to think he could be an Instagram model.
Sounds like he does. Sounds like he does need it because otherwise he's just seeking out attention by making erroneous, ridiculous claims.
Well, today the thing is that it's his anniversary. He's making dinner at home because he believes that no other place in the Madison area can make a steak as good as this guy
There's
can.
nothing wrong with making dinner at home for anniversary, but Matt was basically like, I can do it better than anyone else, so I'll just do it.
It was more, I am going to give 2 plates of food my undivided attention as opposed to a restaurant doing 150
Full of
plates.
professionals who are
doing 150 plates
who have done that
randoms.
for 20 years.
I'm doing it for the love of my life.
So I told him, I was like, that chefs go out to other restaurants to eat because they want to experience different types of food and see what they like and don't like.
Yeah.
Matt's like,
I like experiences too, but.
Do you have a Packers question? Because I have one. So.
No, you fire away.
All right, so we're tight on time here. Jason.
Good, because I was going to hang up soon.
And this is not my Bear fandom because I still think the Bears are the worst team in the North. They have to until they prove otherwise. But when I look at the other teams, I feel like the Packers are closer to being in third place. They're fighting with the Bears for third place than they are with the Detroit Lions for first place, or even Minnesota for second place. Just based off of, I know there's question marks with every team, but the Packers, yes, they had their draft picks, but they didn't do a lot. Even their free agents, you added replacement level players, nobody's
except for Banks.
No, that's not that. He's expensive, but nobody.
No, he's accomplished very little, right? I mean, and again, that's what Goody's approach is, right? He wants guys that have not hit it yet and are going to hit it once they become Packers. Let's be honest, Zadarius Smith had an 8-sack season as a backup in Baltimore. Then he had 25.5 sacks over the next 2 years. His first 2 years in Green Bay, he was a great signing.
Yep.
And then when the money ran out, he became a malingerer. But the fact of the matter is maybe Banks has Pro Bowl ability, and he's going to show that in this offense. But to your point, no, they didn't do anything exciting or sexy other than drafting Matthew Golden in the first round, which is something that obviously that hadn't happened in 23 years. I would just say this: I think there are question marks with all 4 of these NFC North teams. With the Lions, is Dan Campbell going to be exposed like Nick Sirianni was for a year by not having 2 head coach candidate capable coordinators propping him up? Maybe not. Maybe the next 2 guys will be good enough and his continued kneecap biting shtick will be successful and they're going to win the division again. That's the question in my mind with the Lions. The question with the Vikings is J.J. McCarthy as a first-year starter after doing next to nothing last season? Because remember, he was on IR, so you're not allowed to practice when you're on IR.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't actually take reps. Is he going to be stepping in, and is KOC going to be as good with him as he was with Sam Darnold? Because he made Sam Darnold, who was a disappointing number 3 overall pick, into a really, really good quarterback last season, except for when the chips were on the table at the end of the year. The Packers' question is, they have literally a dozen or more guys, plus the coach and the GM, facing pivotal seasons where we know they're all varying degrees of good, but are they good enough and are they going to be great? And they need a bunch of guys that have never been consistently great to be pretty close to great for them to be as good of a team as they're capable of being. And then the Bears, is Ben Johnson going to be the miracle worker that all these other knuckleheads that have coached that franchise have not been able to be? And so all 4 teams, and look, I'm not willing to put any meaningful amount of my own salary on any of the 4 teams because I can see all of them to varying degrees having a bunch of success. But let's add into the equation, while everybody's talking about how it's the greatest division in football, they don't get to play the AFC South this year. I mean, they're not playing the FRCC conference that De Pere and Ashwaubenon are in. Like, they're playing the AFC North, and that's a hell of a lot harder.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know if my job was to predict what the NFC North is going to look like. I'm not qualified to make that, because I think it's going to be a fascinating year.
I agree with you. I also think every team, outside of Chicago, because I don't see them getting worse from 5 wins, take 2 wins off their record from last year, just based off the schedule. So I still think it falls the same. I'm guessing Chicago 7, Green Bay and Minnesota battled out for 9, and Detroit somewhere on 11. And it could still, anyone could surprise me, but that's kind of how I have it looking. I don't think there's a Super Bowl team in the NFC North this year.
You think that Ben Johnson makes that big of a difference for the Lions to pull them out of that?
Yes. Well, I would just say this.
And Aaron Glenn.
On the flip side of that, they've got all their studs coming back from injury, right? Like, that's the one thing about the Lions that I think we have to acknowledge, is that they were decimated. And I'll tell you this, if that happens to the Packers, they are nowhere near as deep to tread water the way the Lions managed to. And they'll be more like the 49ers, who finished, 6-11 when they lost all their good players. So that could get ugly.
It's worth noting, you guys might not, Jason obviously knows this, but Dan Campbell's an offensive coach. He's a leader of men guy, but he's a tight ends coach. He played tight end, and it's kind of like they talked about with Vrabel. You kind of have to give him the benefit of the doubt until he proves he can't hire assistants. His first round through, Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson were home runs. Yeah. So maybe you just have to, it might not work out, but it'll be interesting. Jason, we took up way too much of your time. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
That was Jason Wilde. Matt, before we go, tell us about what Liney's you'll be enjoying tonight.
Well, obviously, with this delicious steak dinner, you can't go wrong with Liney's Original. But the best part about Liney's is they've got a flavor for every moment. If you're out on the lake, having an anniversary dinner, or just chopping it up with friends at the bar, you can't go wrong with Liney's. The summer shandy is fantastic. The juicy peach is outrageous. The lakeside cherry is just as good as those two. They're so good. And it's a Wisconsin beer with a German-inspired brewing tradition. Go get Liney's wherever you get delicious beer. And remember, you got to be 21 years or older to enjoy.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Winning teams could talk trash.
Yeah, but
Giannis talks trash.
Maybe we're not good enough to be talking trash.
Or maybe it's not your personality.
It's not tight. I'm not tight.
Yeah, I'm not tight either.
I'm not tight at all. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
It's not tight. I'm not tight.
I'm so loose right now.
We don't know. I don't know who he is. I have no idea what he is.
I'm not tight.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starion Bank, with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starion Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience at starionbank.com. Member FDIC.
Nick Osen of Badger 247 joined myself and Pablo Iglesias on the Jump Around Thursday afternoon and shared some insight into what he believes is a much improved Wisconsin football team.
There's an honesty that, hey, we need to be better. We need to have better personnel and just really kind of go all in terms of what you can do defensively. I think team's in a good spot, culture's in a really good spot, and now it's just about, hey, can you get back to that bowl game and hopefully get 1 or 2 of those marquee wins.
For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella Experience. Get 0% interest for up to 5 years if you order by July 31st at PellaWI.com.
The open road is calling, and the ride begins at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. This July, you could burn rubber on a custom Harley-Davidson in the Fire Up Your Fantasy motorcycle giveaway. Play with your rewards card all July for entries. Thursday drawings for extra cash and reward play. Fire Up Your Fantasy, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owned. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the belt line at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
God knows I am reincarnated. I was stargazing. Life goes on. I need her, my babies.
J&K Security Solutions, they're locally owned, they're veteran owned, and they will protect your home or business. So reach out to our good friends at J&K Security Solutions if you have needs for your home or business. Jim Rutledge, Matt Hamilton, Molly Brown with you in the Everlight Solar Studio. Primetime Laura Sean behind the glass, Chrissy Birdsall with us as well. We have a couple siding limited poll questions we're going to get to before we get the break here. Do you go out to dinner for the food or the experience? Right now, 75% of you say for the food. And then we want to get a question out here. It's be a preemptive one, as we're going to get to Bill Barnwell ranked the skill position players around Jordan Love, and we'll reveal where they fell on the other side. But we want to ask this question, side limited poll question. What is more important, or who needs to be better? I guess I'll ask this one. Who needs to be better, the QB or the offensive playmakers? What is more important for a Super Bowl caliber team? A great QB or great offensive playmakers? 844-770-3776. That's our siding limited poll question. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
Hey, it's Molly Brown from Jim, Matt, and Molly. I've been drinking ZOA Energy for a while now, and I absolutely love it. ZOA is my go-to beverage when I need a boost without the crash that comes with other energy drinks. It's packed with natural ingredients like vitamin B and C, electrolytes, and has zero sugar. It fuels my workouts and busy days. I recently had twins, and I have a toddler, so I need all of the energy I can get. Head over to ZOAEnergy.com to find the location nearest to you to pick up some ZOA for yourself. ZOA Energy for balance and drive.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center Update brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's premier roofing, siding, and window contractor since 2002. Visit them at ridgetopexteriors.com. The Milwaukee Brewers turned up the bats in their first game against the Dodgers last night, winning 9-1 in their series opener. Fastball Freddie Peralta also had one of his strongest outings of the year with 6 shutout innings en route to his 10th win of the season. He did much better than two-time All-Star and fellow All-Star Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who pitcher for the Dodgers, who gave up 5 runs while recording just 2 outs before he got pulled in what was the shortest outing of his career against the Brewers last night. Andrew Vaughn, new Brewer first baseman, also hitting a home run in his first ever career plate appearance for the Brew Crew. Game 2 of that series is tonight with the true marquee pitching matchup as the Milwaukee's Miz Kid, The Miz, faces off against Dodgers legend Clayton Kershaw. First pitch is set for 6:40 p.m., so pregame starts at 6:04 immediately after Jim, Matt, and Molly right here on 100.5 ESPN. That's Madison's home of the Brewers. 61 days away from kickoff of the Packers season. Head over to ESPN.com for all your green and gold coverage.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow. Oh.
People like me.
I don't think so. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
We're learning a lot about each other.
We got Homer, Matt Hamilton.
Yeah.
We have
pessimist Molly.
No. Realist.
And then contrarian.
Total. Yeah.
Jim Rutledge here.
I wouldn't say I'm a wino by any means.
That's not really the term. But yeah. All right. Wino?
No, wino's like somebody that likes wine.
Maybe you're just not hip to the jive like us young cats, right, Molly?
And to be fair, it's a cork dork.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton and Molly Brown, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is hour number 2 of Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
I am Jim Rutledge. I have the power. Alongside Molly Brown and Matt Hamilton. Chrissy Birdsall in the Everlight Solar Studio as well. Primetime Laura Sean behind the glass. He is putting out our Siding Unlimited poll question as we speak. Get into the show, 844-770-3776. That's Cardinals Talking text line. List is more. The Brewers take on the Dodgers tonight. First pitch, 6:40. The Miz takes on Clayton Kershaw. That game is on ESPN Madison, 6:04 pregame here on your home for the Milwaukee Brewers. It's also on TV on TBS, but big game tonight. But also some news from the Milwaukee Brewers if you are just tuning in. I know that Andrew Vaughn had a nice game yesterday. But he is a negative 1.7 WAR player so far this year. He is your first baseman for the next 6 weeks, most likely, with Rhys Hoskins now out for at least 6 weeks. He's shooting for mid to end of August return.
Sprained his thumb or something?
Yeah, as soon as I saw it happen against the Marlins, I texted my brother, I said, this doesn't look good. Tagging someone out, and your thumb as a ball player, it's not like throwing a football. Like, you need both hands on the bat, and if one of them's off, like, you lose your power, you can make it worse. So hopefully a speedy recovery for him. He does. So now it's a matter of not just adding a bat. You almost would have to add 2 bats based off what Jeff Passan said, the Brewers, if they added a big bat, which 2 things. One, there's not really a big bat available at the trade deadline, but if they did, they'd be World Series contenders. But now you take Rhys Hoskins out. He will be back at some point this year, but that makes it a lot harder for them to even get into the playoffs because they're, I think, 3.5 games behind the Cubs, and they gained a half game because the Cubs were off yesterday. But the Cardinals and Reds are nipping at their heels too. So this will be a fight for the wild card, not just the division.
His WAR for the Brewers is 0.2.
Great.
Just saying. It's a new era.
Look, Matt, he sucks. If you want to ride on Dyer that, like, you can, but he stinks.
Ryan, you were at that game yesterday.
I was.
What did you think of Mr. Vaughn?
It was honestly, it was my favorite moment as a Brewers fan
and
this
why
season.
is it? Because?
Because I went with my best friend from college. His name is Sam. He is a diehard, lifelong White Sox fan who has been too ashamed to rep the White Sox since college, really, since they blew up their entire team. By the way, he went to go work for the White Sox for 2 years. It might have been the most miserable experience of his life.
I hear it's not a great organization.
Can imagine.
It's not great behind the scenes as well as on the field. But we sat down right at the beginning in the bottom of the first inning. And as soon as we sat down, he had to go to the bathroom. And within the first, 3 minutes after he left, Andrew Vaughn just hits an absolute dinger to center field. Off of the Dodgers' best pitcher right now, too.
So let me ask you this question, because these two don't really follow baseball.
Yes.
What?
What is the
wearing a Brewers shirt?
What is
I'm
the
Mr. Baseball.
What is the Brewers equivalent for this guy?
For Andrew Vaughn?
Yes.
So it's a guy who you drafted. He was like their best prospect in 2019. He was like, I think, the 6th overall pick back then, and he just never panned out. Is just in really like Jim said, he is a below average player by far. So he's not only just been not great as an average ball player, he's well underperformed expectations for what they thought he'd be coming up. So I guess, God, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head right now.
But like as a bat, like with the White Sox, he hit 189.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're talking about like just
the Mendoza line.
his current, like how he's
That was
playing
just
right
in
now.
2025.
That's with the White Sox this
Yes,
year.
he's been with the White Sox.
Oh, yeah. This
Yeah,
year.
what?
That's
Yes.
this year. His career average is 248.
He's been getting progressively worse. 235, 271, 258, 246, 189.
500 for the Brewers.
Anyways, you could be an idiot. That's all you want to do. That's fine. Like if we're not going to be serious about
How
it, it
about
is Matt, it is a
home
big
fan?
It is a big deal for the Brewers to lose Rhys Hoskins. It is a massive downgrade from Rhys Hoskins to Andrew Vaughn.
Yes, I will give you that.
That's what I want. I know you're doing your shtick, but like it's
not shtick. I'm just excited for the guy. He's 1 for 2 at bat, and with the one hit's a home run.
But if you're a Brewers fan, you should be eyes wide open that this is something that might be done at the trade deadline to replace Andrew Vaughn, because having him as a guy, he was a throw-in because the Brewers had a pitcher who removed all their leverage. He said, I want to be traded. The White Sox said, you can have this.
So he's just a placeholder.
Yes.
Okay.
And, like, it's just worth...
But Matt is hoping that he's going to become the next big thing, potentially, or at least somebody
he's
on
going to
this
be
team.
able to tread water until Reese is back. That's all I'm hoping for.
Which is what, 6 weeks?
Yeah, and that's a lot to ask. So, regardless...
Just tread water.
Baseball's hard, Matt.
It is.
Yes. So we do have a siding limited poll question.
I did look it up, by the way. Comp for maybe our guy Andrew Vaughn for the Brewers. I'm seeing a lot of Gary Sheffield from Brewers fans.
Oh, no, Gary Sheffield was really good.
Was he really good with the Brewers, though?
No. I mean, look it up. He was still good with way better than Vaughn was.
He was great back in his heyday
yeah,
of
but
his
like
career.
Sheffield went off to be a borderline Hall of Famer.
True. But I'm thinking of like guys who with the Brewers just never panned out at all. And you had really high expectations.
Pat Listash?
Is that a person? Pat Listash?
I hate you.
No,
do any of you know who Pat Listash is?
Anyone in this room?
I have no idea who that is.
Sounds like Patlis.
He won Rookie of the Year.
Sounds like an alias.
He won Rookie of the Year and then was bad after that.
Listash. Like he's missing a mustache? That's what it sounds like to me.
Pat Listash is a...
Pat Stashless.
Yeah, exactly. Played for the Yankees.
He played with the Brewers from 1992 for a little bit there. He's 57. He's a manager, I think, minor leagues now. But Pat Listash, career WAR is 4. But as a rookie, he won Rookie of the Year. So as a rookie, his career, this is what's worse. His WAR as a rookie was 4.5. He finished with a career WAR of 4.3. So the rest of his career, he was a negative player overall. But he was great and then crap the rest of his career. Hit 290, then 244, 219, 240, 182 out of the league.
That would be a good comp for Andrew Vaughn. What he was with the White Sox, yeah.
Yeah.
The Brewers traded a starting pitcher and cash to get Andrew Vaughn because they had to send money along with a starting pitcher to make the White Sox actually have to eat that salary.
Yeah.
Just give him like a duffel bag and be like, here's your flight.
That's how it works.
Going to Chicago.
Yeah. They should have sent him the pasta flight, honestly. It would have been worth more.
Kauai yourself.
And again, I would say this. I'd be more into like maybe Andrew Vaughn is something if he had been with the Brewers more than like 2 weeks. Like if this was like he's been around and they put him through their own analytics team and had time. Like they have. This is literally just a change of scenery. They've had no time to work with him. They have no time to make him better. So like there's no reason at all to think he's going to be good. Now, if you wanted to tell me that they made this trade, and in the off season he had a whole system, and then he came up, was looking good in spring training. And then it's like, okay, I got something to buy into here. But him being on a team for 2 weeks in the minor leagues is not really.
And if we're being honest, really what happened was Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the all-star pitcher for the Dodgers, just served him an absolute meatball.
Yeah.
A flight
Batting
of
practice
meatballs.
pitch,
Yes,
yeah.
literally. I mean, he just cranked it out of the ballpark because he has the natural talent of being a top draft pick back in the day.
Yeah.
But he's never come close to putting it together.
Honestly, it reminds me of the movie Major League. And it's not exactly, but Pedro Serrano, can't hit the curve.
Yes.
You give him a
That might be
fastball,
it.
you make a mistake, and you give him a fastball, he could probably turn that around. You pitch him anything else, he's done.
They need Jobu. That's what they need.
Jobu.
All right, so getting to the Packers side of things here. Bill Barnwell put out a ranking here, and he ranked the position players, so wide receiver, tight end, and running backs, skill players around the quarterback. And he has the Green Bay Packers, drum roll please, 17th. And here's what he had to say. With so many promising young receivers, it seemed inevitable that at least one of the Green Bay primary pass catchers would take a step forward in 2024. Somehow they went 0 for 5. Jaden Reed was wildly inconsistent, in part because of the Packers' reluctance to use him out of the slot. He averaged 1.3 yards per RR split out.
Per route run.
Route run, thank you. Split out, and 2.7 everywhere else. So obviously better running out of the slot as opposed to any, or split. Basically not a good outside receiver. Romeo Doubs was suspended by the team for a game and missed 2.5 more games with injuries. Christian Watson caught 29 passes, albeit for 620 yards before tearing his ACL in a playoff game. Dontavion Wicks tied Quentin Johnson for last in the league in ESPN's catch score, which is not a comparison to not a comparison you want to draw. Quentin Johnson notorious for dropping. So that would say that Dontavion Wicks not trending to be the next Devontae Adams.
I did go and look at those actual ESPN analytics. Do you know what his catch score is? The numeric value?
No.
It was 0.
Oof.
It was actually 0. Which I don't know what that even means. I don't know what that represents, but that's not
good. Luke Musgrave missed most of last season with an ankle injury, but even before the injury, fellow second-year tight end Tucker Kraft had taken over the starting role, delivering a lone impressive campaign from the young gun, 50 catches, 7 TDs. One impressive year out of 2 is worth. That's something good. The Packers apparently agreed with the disappointment. They used first-round pick Matthew Golden and third-rounder Savion Williams as picks on new wide receivers, hinting at futures elsewhere for Doubs and Watson after their contract years in 2025.
Which we knew.
Yeah, I'm still reasonably optimistic about all these guys, and Golden should give Green Bay a much-needed burst of downfield speed while Watson is unavailable. But last season was a reminder how tough it is to project steps forward for even promising young receivers in a healthy offense. Then there's Josh Jacobs, who ranked up 1,329 yards rushing, 15 touchdowns, Pro Bowl season. Yards per carry were fantastic. Other metrics, not as much. He ranked 15th out of 23 backs in success rate and 19th in EPA, owing in part to his 4 fumbles. As a back with a below-average EPA per carry and tons of attempts, Jacobs ranked 135th in cumulative rushing EPA. So Ryan, you wear glasses. Give us a little bit of background into that.
EPA is the expected points added for each of the plays that he has. So whenever a running back carries the ball, it's usually actually negative expected points added because usually passing the ball adds to more points. So it's based off of projections for historical data of how well a certain play will perform and how many yards you gain, really. So it's how close you get to either a first down or a touchdown. So on most of Josh Jacobs' downs, he's just a little bit of the innings eater. He's 4 yards in a cloud of dust. He's not really ever putting you ahead. He's just kind of keeping you on pace or slightly behind, which isn't always on the running back. That could also be
That's
reflection.
a lot about what I've said he is, though, is a guy that he's not a home run hitter.
True.
So let's just wrap this up. I'll just kind of paraphrase here. Was Jacobs really the 135th best back in the league? Of course not. Concerns of fumbles and inefficiency are meaningful, though. His strength, breaking tackles to extend plays, especially at the second and third levels, is far more conspicuous on highlight reel runs than his weakness, indecisiveness when hitting the hole, trying to avoid runs for no gains or losses. So basically what he's saying is yes, the highlight tapes, you see him run people over, but then you don't really get a highlight tape of him dancing in the backfield and not picking a hole to go forward, which tends to add up as the game goes along. The Packers were better when he was off the field than when he was on it, something not true for Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry. And then here's the last little bit. The playoff loss to the Eagles was a good example of Jacobs' season. He had a spectacular 31-yard run that set up a 1-yard touchdown plunge and what ended up being his final 2 carries of the season. But he failed to pick up a first down on any of his prior 16 carries. He also fumbled inside the Eagles' 10-yard line. Although the Packers are able to fall on the loose ball, leaving salary aside, he is a useful player. But comparisons to Barkley and Henry in terms of 2024 are superficial. I think all that's fair.
I mean, why are we trying to compare him to Barkley and Henry?
People have. Mark Tauscher, Matt Hamilton. Like, there were conversations of like, oh,
rubbish.
Like, I think it's just setting up.
You compared him to Saquon Barkley? I
don't remember that.
I don't remember that either.
I remember. Like,
I could see Tausch doing it for sure, but like.
Or Packer fans. Like, that was a conversation of like Josh
I don't think I've ever had that conversation.
Tausch definitely did.
Yeah,
Tausch I can imagine.
On
Like
our
I
talking
said.
text line, absolutely. Don't act like Packer fans weren't trying to conflate them because it was all 3 guys signed together. Like, don't act like.
Okay, well, those people are crazy. Like,
Okay,
I think those
I didn't
people.
say
You
you.
love to say. I think those people are the anomaly. I don't think
I don't
they're
think
the
they're an anomaly. If you got Packer Hall of Famer,
my favorite. I would never compare him to Derrick.
If you got Packer Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher saying it, it means
Tausch says that about like any time that there's something like magnificent.
And what's our most popular show?
Wilde and Tausch, I get it.
So
but
I would
like,
believe that a lot of Packer fans were reheating their own nachos that Josh Jacobs was closer to Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry than he actually is. That's
You're
all.
a little nookie.
Okay, well, anybody that says that is wrong. And I think that if you even thought that bringing Josh Jacobs in, a team that was willing to get rid of him, bringing him in, like, no.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
I think were we hoping that he was going to be better than Aaron Jones? For sure, right? Like, I think that was the hope.
So let me ask you this question. What do you think of the statement that the Packers were better statistically as an offense without Josh Jacobs on the field?
I think that's super interesting.
I think so. I hear Ryan talk about EPA and like your EPA is lower when you run the ball. Like when he was on the field, he got the ball. So like I understand. Like,
but that's not that ain't it. Here's why.
What was it based off of?
But I'm saying that he's against other running backs. He's still 130. Every other running back's held to the same standard, Matt.
Okay,
like,
but
he's not held to his own specific standard.
No, but you're holding him to a standard of when he's on the field and he's not on the field. When he's not on the field, we're throwing the ball. You'll have a higher EPA when you're throwing the ball.
Because this EPA that Jim's referencing is EPA per rush. This is just for rushing attempts compared to other running backs.
Thank you. So that's wrong.
So it's not overall EPA.
What I want to get to, though, is...
It's a very hairy stat. We'll just say
But
that.
here's the way
Seems
we
like one of those stats that, like, however it fits your narrative.
Here's how we can make it very simplistic, though. We talked about this. Josh Jacobs in the play action, the way he wants to run it out of the shotgun, the way that Matt LaFleur wants to run the offense, they don't connect. Matt LaFleur talked about that. The Packers obviously see this. So the stats do matter when they say they have to run an offense different than the offense that Matt LaFleur truly wants to run last year because Jacobs wants the ball out of the shotgun and LaFleur wants the ball under center play action, much like the Vikings run and Detroit runs and Chicago will be running. That's what he wants. That's not what Jacobs can do. So they're going to have to, and they talked about this, figure out how to get Jacobs under center because the play-action game is non-existent in the shotgun for Jacobs, it's just not anywhere close to as effective for any running back in the shotgun. So the stats do match in the idea, and honestly, everything with Jacobs matches the eye test of, yeah, he has some nice runs once in a while. He's not a home run hitter. He is a consistent running back.
Okay, so is this just another example of Brian Gutekunst bringing in somebody, an ingredient that Matt LaFleur has to learn how to cook with, rather than Matt LaFleur going out saying, hey, I want this guy because he fits what I want to do. Matt LaFleur then has to change whatever his plan is to fit this player that was brought in without his consideration, potentially?
Seems like that way.
So who needs to be better for the Packers, Jordan Love or their group of offensive playmakers? 844-770-3776. That is our signing limited poll question on the Carbon Stock text line. List is more.
I would say it's got to be the skill position players. Have to be better than Jordan Love.
Molly, quick, we'll get more on the other side, but what's your answer?
I would say the skill position players, even though Jordan Love's making a boatload of money.
It's easier for them to get better than Jordan Love to get better.
Yes.
I agree with you on that. Matt, tell us about Odyssey.
Odyssey is fantastic. It's a go-to. It's a staple in my kitchen, and that's because they have all sorts of fun dairy products. It's dairy done right, made right here in Wisconsin with Wisconsin milk. 10 gallons of milk make 1 pound of feta cheese. I learned that when I was down on tour down there.
Okay.
And
sounds like you were on tour down there. Like you went to a tour.
Yeah, I was on tour of cheese making factories, and this was the best one by far. Klondike Cheese Factory down in Monroe. So if you like supporting local, you like feta cheese or Greek yogurt or the amazing Greek yogurt-based dips, check out Odyssey brands in the grocery store. They're nationwide, so you'll be able to find them. It's the blue and green label, Odyssey brands. Check them out, made right here in Wisconsin.
It's Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
It was the nastiest looking hot dog I think I've ever seen in my life. It was like beige with like mustard squirted like in random spots.
It is like a Jackson Pollock painting with the mustard just all over the place. Matt claims to be an Olympic athlete, and he can't properly squeeze out mustard in a straight line.
Yeah, no, not great.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Clinky Cleaners has been in business for over 65 years, and they've had document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems for right around 30 years. CFO Sean Young explains why.
Probably the best thing about James Imaging that's worked for us is they're reliable, they're dependent, they always make things easy for us.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation, and local people who make doing business easy.
They're quick to come whenever we need them, point out lots of simple things for us to try to save us some money and save us time and eliminate headaches.
So Sean, the bottom line of having business technology from James Imaging Systems?
I just appreciate the work that James Imaging has done for us. They're always looking out for our best interests.
James Imaging Systems. Make it easy, save money, eliminate headaches. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because your next Mercedes Sprinter van is waiting for you.
For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella Experience.
The biggest thing for us in the Experience Center was the collaboration with the team. We were able to come in and sit down and go over a bunch of different options, and it wasn't just us dictating what we wanted.
They asked us things we didn't even know or think about, from colors to hardware, and because of that, we were able to get the best possible look for our home.
Hi, I'm Gina Della from Pella. Just like Jim and Haley, you too can see, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from 7 different Pella lines, side by side, at our Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. And today is a great day to stop by because right now you can get 0% interest for up to 5 years. The Pella Experience Center is on Blue Mountain Road, kitty corner to delicious Cops. With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the USA, get the look you want at a price you can afford. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply in 7/31/2025.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
No sleep till
better for the Packers, Jordan Love or their group of offensive playmakers? I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Molly Brown, Matt Hamilton, Chrissy Birdsall in the Everlight Solar Studio. Primetime always shine behind the glass. And we are asking that question because Bill Barnwell ranked I said that weird, absolutely. Bill Barnwell ranked the Packers 17th. Last year they were 28th. This year they're 17th as far as wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs. So the Green Bay Packers are moving on up in the world. So we are asking you what is more important. Who needs to be better, Jordan Love or their group of offensive playmakers? Right now, 60% of you, or 59% of you say offensive playmakers.
Matt, you had the stats. I'm trying to think how to phrase this, but you had the stats, I feel like, only a couple weeks ago when we were talking about how much the drops last year impacted Jordan Love's numbers. And I feel like it was quite a bit. Do you remember this conversation?
Oh, we had this conversation. Remember, it was not as dramatic as everyone was spinning it.
It wasn't as dramatic.
Because remember the advance.
As some of the, there was other quarterbacks that had a lot.
Because here's what it was. Now, maybe Ryan can help with the numbers here, or you can jump in the conversation because you were part of it too. What I remember is the basic stats, the Packers were one of the worst in the league as far as drops. But then when you went with, you combined, true completion percentage for Jordan Love, which accounted for throwaways and balls thrown to receivers, he was mid.
Okay.
So, yes,
he was actually slightly below mid.
Right, slightly below mid. So when you took the advanced analytics, which took into account drops and throwaways and other things, he was still below average. So no matter how you wanted to cut that cake, he was still below average as far as completions.
Wasn't working out in
Now,
our
the
favor.
receivers could have helped him because then that would have mattered in the games in more traditional stats. If the receivers had been better at catching some of those balls, then, he still would have been below average in his true accuracy numbers, but it would have mattered less because those guys are then saving his ass.
Right.
So I think it goes back to, you kind of answered your own question, Jordan Love needs people to save his ass. He needs the running back to provide play action to make life easier for him, and he needs the receivers to make some throws for him, catches for him. Because I think Jordan Love can be, and when he's on fire, he reminds me a little bit of Eli Manning in this aspect. Eli Manning was it seemed to be feast or famine. When he was on a heater, he was cooking,
right?
Yeah. And there was plenty of other times he was average. And we talked about the PMT ranking. Jordan Love falling into the game-to-game, is he going to be great? Is he going to be average? Is he going to be – he's not really bad anymore, but, you just don't know what you're getting every game.
Was that Vegas last year?
It is weird.
Was that the year before?
I believe, Caleb Williams had more 300-yard passing games than Jordan Love did last year, or even as a rookie. And I'm not – Caleb Williams not as good. I'm just saying, in some of the numbers around around Jordan are surprisingly not as great as you think they would be. And Caleb's got a long way to get to Jordan Love. So I'm just saying that, you got a quarterback who was a true rookie who was wildly inconsistent, and some of his numbers rivaled what Jordan Love did. And we talked about their stats against the NFC North. That's concerning for Jordan Love because, in theory, he should be way better than Caleb Williams based off of his contract.
I mean, I think we can all agree he needs to be way better than what he is based on he's getting paid $55 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
But how many times did we bring up that Aaron Rodgers wasn't having a 300-yard game? We brought it up all the time. I feel like it was weeks and weeks and weeks straight that he wasn't having a 300-yard game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me ask you this question.
That lends itself. It seems like Matt LaFleur does just want to run the ball more. And
that's just let's not get bogged down in one stat because, again, his completion percentage was terrible.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Yeah,
which might have been part of the reason why
he didn't get 300 yards.
No, that too, obviously. But that might be the reason why Matt LaFleur was also let's pivot to running more because you're not getting it done.
I also think the underreported thing or under-talked about thing is that I think Jordan Love still needs to be quicker with his when he was at his best. Yeah. It just seemed like he only had to hit 2 or 3 home runs a game, and then otherwise he would just drop. Look at that! Think of that Dallas game. And this is not an indictment of Jordan Love. It's just I felt like every throw he made was wide open. I'll put it like this: if you went on Bears Twitter's when Jordan Love was on his heater, it was good God, why is everyone wide open every time Jordan Love is throwing to him? And that was obviously LaFleur, but it's on Jordan Love to see them and let it rip. And LaFleur's talked about that. He uses that term of let it rip. Mm-hmm. Other coaches say get it out faster. And I think Jordan Love needs to make a decision. It also ties into he didn't run much last year. Let it rip or run and only take a few strategic shots down the field because those are high-risk plays.
Yeah, I put a bit of that on the receivers. They had mentioned wildly inconsistent on the receivers. If you're not letting it rip because they're not open, I understand that. And I'm sure that's part of it. The other part, he couldn't run. He didn't. I think he was protecting his injured knee a little too much last year. And I'm not saying that was the wrong
He didn't run much the year
thing.
before, but he did run a little bit more.
I mean, 200 yards.
I was going to
more.
say quite a bit more.
I mean, not a substantial. Like the overall amount of yards ran were not substantial.
Relative to other quarterbacks, he was pretty moderate. But he was very, like you were saying, with his big throws on the field. He was strategic with the runs.
Yes.
And he used them at the right times. Similar to Aaron Rodgers towards the end of his career.
So I wanted to ask you guys this before we get to break. Which one of these statements surprised you more? That Dontavion Wicks is closer to Quentin Johnson as far as a catch score, which means basically you throw on the ball, your confidence in them catching it. Quentin Johnson with the Chargers is not someone like he gets maligned by Charger fans as someone that it needs to be way better. And honestly, to me, the difference is draft status because I believe Quentin Johnson was a higher pick. And then you have Dontavion Wicks, who's like a nice story. So I think he gets a little bit more of a pass of like, okay, this is a neat story, so this guy can just be better. Or the Packers, Josh Jacobs is more of a, at least according to Advanced Analytics, more of a middle of the road. Like obviously, I would say top 10, like 10. I would say like 12 to 10, 9 running back, not a top 5 running back.
That surprises me a little bit more. I mean, I had him. I guess when I see this stat and when I see that like EPA where he's like 139 and like,
nobody's saying he's 150th, 35th best back in football. But
right.
Like, yeah.
But that surprises me more. Like Dontavion Wicks, we've had other guys that drop the ball too. Like that's not super surprising. Like we went out and got Josh Jacobs because he's a power back that can run the ball. That's a bell cow that can play 3 downs for a set. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's a 3-down back. And so I kind of wanted to view him as definitely like without a doubt unquestioned top 10 running back in the league. And I think yards wise he was, but like when you hear some of those stats, that was like more surprising to me than our guy Dontavion Wicks not catching it as often as he should. Like drops happen.
I would agree. I think that there's less expectations for him, right? I think that's what it comes down to.
Well, it's the eye test thing, and this is what I thought was interesting, which really kind of helps you connect the stats to maybe disbelieving the stats. His strength, breaking tackles to extend plays, talking about Josh Jacobs here, and this is from Bill Barnwell on ESPN, especially at the second and third levels, is far more conspicuous on highlight reel runs. So, like, you see these big runs, and you're like, wow, this is fantastic. Then his weakness, indecisiveness when hitting the hole and trying to avoid runs for no gains / losses. So he dances a little bit much. You don't see that over and over again, and all fan bases are guilty of this, of like you just see the big plays and you're like, all right. And then getting to and I'll end it with this because this was just interesting. So when we're talking about players needing to be better, Josh Jacobs is one of them. And honestly, I don't think he's going to get better. I think the way the Packers run game gets better is Marshawn Lloyd. Is he needs to come in and be a complement to Jacobs because then you're relying on him less. The playoff loss to the Eagles was a good example of Jacobs' season. Spectacular 31-yard run to set up the 1-yard touchdown plunge. But he failed to pick up a first down on any of his prior 16 carries, fumbled inside the Eagles' 10. The Packers recovered that. So that, to me, is kind of the encapsulation. Big run, some middling plays, fumbled. This time it didn't burn him. So, again, that's still a very good back. Let me tell you about Canopy Wealth Management. Canopy Wealth Management, they are a fee-based advisory firm. They don't chase commissions and never back gimmicks or instruments that chase single-day returns or put your long-term goals at risk. The team at Canopy creates strategies that are tailored to your needs and goals. Canopy Wealth Management, care, competence, and clarity aren't just buzzwords. They're a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started with them today. That's canopy-wealth.com. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Come on, Matt. You're the fantasy football guy.
Yeah. I know, but like we're pretty far removed from fantasy last year. Like,
and honestly, you're into tight ends. Like, I knew how that was going to sound before I said it, but I didn't mean it like.
Okay.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent. Hey, Joe Fortenbaugh here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with the promo code JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Immediate live show streaming. A homepage customized just for you. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Your state, your teams, your ESPN.
But if you're just doing this because you're starting to not believe the Packers are going to bring in a number one wide receiver.
The ESPN Wisconsin app. Everything in the palm of your hand.
Who are the top guys?
And Dobbs.
That is the problem.
No, I totally
that is
agree.
The problem. You have never called Xavier McKinney the wrong name.
Available in the Apple and Android App Store. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app today.
It's racing season. That means Road America in Elkhart Lake is the place to be. ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust and IndyCar driver Graham Rahal chat about what makes Road America special for drivers and fans.
What makes Road America so unique and different than anywhere else that you go?
I think it's the length of the straightaways. You know, in an IndyCar, there's 3 places on that racetrack that, in essence, you hit maximum velocity. There's no other track that we go to year-round where that's the case. And I think that's what the drivers all love about it. From a fan's perspective, you love it because it's easy to get around. You can see a lot of different places. You know, you can sit up on the hill watching the last corner, eat a brat, get some sweet corn and see that side of it. But then, of course, you can also, go back about a Canada corner. So many different aspects, different areas to watch, to cheer on your favorite driver. I think that's what's so cool and unique about this place as well.
Be part of race day this summer at Road America. Visit roadamerica.com.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owns. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Go be a winner. Millions of dollars are won every single week in the Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. You should go win some of those millions of dollars. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Go be a winner and go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Jim Rutledge, Matt Hamilton, Molly Brown, Chrissy Birdsall, and Primetime Wollersheim with you in the Everlight Solar Studio. Stream us on the ESPN Wisconsin app and on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. You can comment on there as well. We have a couple Siding Unlimited poll questions out there. Our most recent one was asking you basically what's more important, the Packers' skill positions being who needs to be better this year? The Packers, Jordan Love or their group of offensive playmakers. Right now, 56.5% of you say offensive playmakers. That's based off Bill Barnwell ranking the Packers playmakers 17th overall, the exact same spot he had them last year. And then we have a Jim, Matt, and Molly poll question based off Matt Hamilton's anniversary. And we asked the question, do you go out to dinner for the food or the experience? 69% of you say food.
69. I like that number.
A little quicker on the trigger, my friend. It was a little awkward. He had to go 69.
You want to come back here and push the buttons?
I mean, I probably could.
Okay, let's switch.
No, KBN already did that bit today.
They did. That's true.
Maybe tomorrow.
Brad is so much better than Strofe.
No idea. Irrelevant.
All right, so speaking of the Milwaukee Bucks, let's get into throwing stones.
Speaking of them.
Some takes are cooler than others.
You know this kid is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Some opinions are just cooler than the rest.
Now what's cooler than being cool? Ice cold.
And if you keep it chill, then it's a cold take.
Chill out. I'm chill. I'm chill as a cucumber, man.
I'm always the coldest.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's chillest Kia dealership.
The Milwaukee Bucks are not quite turning into a Miami Heat team I covered, but they could be. And that team was the worst in the NBA that year. Now, Dwayne Wade got hurt. Shaq was on that team. Sean Marion, Jason Williams, White Chocolate Jason Williams, and a couple other. Udonis Haslem was still in his prime there, and Alonzo Mourning was on that team. A lot of names. A lot of old names. A lot of guys who couldn't play the whole season. I say that because the Milwaukee Bucks are now being linked to Russell Westbrook. Seems like they're going to miss out on Bradley Beal. They got no money, and the Clippers do, and they made some space to go get Bradley Beal. When he's let go, it's most likely he's going to go to the Clippers. Chris Paul wants to stay out west, so I don't think he's coming to the Bucks. So then you're starting looking lower and lower on the list of who could be a starting point guard for the Milwaukee Bucks. Kevin Porter Jr. has shown no indication that he's a starting point guard on a championship caliber team or playoff caliber team. He's a nice, young, ascending player, but you want to have more proof that he's a guy. Russell Westbrook has been connected to the Milwaukee Bucks. He might be someone that they can afford. Now, you look at his body of work, 6'4", point guard, you like that height, 9-time All-Star, 3-time assist champion, 2-time scoring champion, NBA 75th anniversary team. Okay! Those are all good. Last year, even his counting stats look good at 13.6 assists per game. 32% three-point is not terrible.
So can he play defense?
No, he's old.
How?
He's too old to play defense.
He's 36 years old.
Was he a great defender, like even when he was on the Thunder?
Back then, he was that
scorer.
Well, he could get some steals. He was athletic. Like, he was one of the most. He was right there with Derrick Rose, one of the most athletic guards in the league for a long time. That
he was like Mr. Triple Double.
Yep.
He was basically Anthony Edwards back in the day.
Yeah.
Probably not as good of a three-point shooter, but that level of athleticism and burst.
Yeah.
I mean, he was. I remember seeing a lot of highlight reels with Russell Westbrook.
Oh, he's a hell of a highlight reel player. A little bit, honestly, he comps more to like James Harden, where it's a lot of empty calorie stats and numbers, but like Oklahoma City didn't win anything with him, but he's still a heck of a player.
Talk about
He's only 6'3".
Well, this is 6'4" on Basketball Reference, so I don't know.
That's crazy.
We'll give him an extra inch. Everyone needs the inch. All right, so here's the thing that's concerning for me with Westbrook, because I like the name. I think he's a good locker room dude. I think he's maybe not a best basketball fit because he's played for Washington, the Lakers, and then obviously the Lakers again, Clippers, Denver since leaving Oklahoma City. So he's a guy that bounces around. Most teams have him around for about a year and a half. So could you catch lightning in the bottle? Yeah. Are there worse? I mean, I don't hate the signing, but like he's just not a guy. Like, most teams move off of him pretty quick.
He only got paid $3.3 million last year with the Nuggets.
I think the Bucks can get him for vet minimum. That might have been what he got for the Nuggets.
That's wild.
I mean, I'd take him for that.
Yeah, but
he can bring the ball up and he can facilitate. That's really what you need with a guy like Giannis.
And wouldn't you?
Well, you don't need that with Giannis because Giannis will do that.
Well, like you can pass Giannis open. I'm saying, like
well,
he's a guy.
Giannis will most likely be the point forward. Like, so he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. So,
Okay.
but Russell's a good functional NBA player. Like,
If Russ is on the court, Giannis is probably not.
That's a good point,
Russ is
too.
probably running with the second unit. Honestly, it's the second unit of Bobby Portis, Russ, and then like Ajax and
chaos.
AJ Green.
Chaos.
I was gonna say, do you trust that group to be on the court?
I mean, I would trust that.
This is all just.
This just feels like a desperation move, or
Every
what?
move they're going to make is desperation. They're going to trade Kyle Kuzma and attach their last remaining draft pick to him too in a desperation move. It is all desperation.
But they have to,
Right? Because they have three guys who are. If you looked at their roster, Kevin
Be
Porter.
desperate or lose Giannis are your choices.
Well, they might still lose
and
him anyways.
they might still.
Because
there's no guarantee.
Be desperate and lose
but
Giannis.
You
That's
can
next year.
guarantee if you don't pull off desperation moves that he will move on.
Right, and I still think there may have been a better case just to move him on and just recoup and start the whole damn thing over. Oklahoma City did that, and they had 2 down years, and then they won the NBA title. But Kevin Porter Jr. is not a proven starter on an NBA playoff team.
Yeah.
Gary Trent Jr. not a proven starter on an NBA playoff team that's going to make any noise in the playoffs. And Kyle Kuzma was not a proven starter on an NBA playoff team that's going to make any noise in the playoffs. I love Gary Trent Jr., Taurean Prince. Those are nice players. AJ Green, nice player.
I like
Ryan
him.
Rollins, nice player. Those are nice little pieces, but they don't have enough starters. It's weird now. They almost have in the front court. You got Giannis, you got Turner, you got Bobby. That's great, and you feel good about that. But then the rest of it, they got a bunch of backups, and they need more starters. I like their depth, but they don't have anything at the top of their depth.
Right. No cream of that crop.
Cream City.
All green, no cream. It's
Yeah.
tough.
So, are we giving a thumbs up? I'll give a thumb. So my question is, and you can chime in 844-770-3776. Call us, talk, text line. List is more. Are we giving a thumbs up to Russ if the Bucks get it?
I think
Middle
I would.
thumb?
I think I could.
I give it a
Have
thumbs
an
up.
opinion, Molly.
I know.
That's twice today, Molly.
I know. It's bad. I mean, Jason Wilde never has an opinion, so
Yeah,
why
but
should
he's
I
a
have
sports
to?
writer.
Have an opinion. I
Molly
honestly, I would probably say thumbs up just for the veteranship of it all, but it also feels incredibly desperate.
Oh, it's very desperate, but we're desperate, so thumbs up.
Yeah,
You
thumbs
gotta-
up.
You
I
gotta
liked-
go.
I'm fine with that move.
You're making every desperate move that you can, and hope against all logic that it works out.
And
Hope
he's
you
not
get
a
past
guy
the
that you're
first round of
giving anything
playoffs.
up for, right? You're just paying him.
Right.
It's free agent, so it's not. There's still a possibility that you move on from Kuzma, you give up that first rounder in 2031, and you get someone also
Can
viable.
I ask you this, because I've seen this report out there, and I think it's insane. And you know what? We're tight on time. I'll ask it on the other side. I'll tease a little bit of news here that we're on the Milwaukee Bucks and a player that they won't trade, which is insane to me. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Medicine on YouTube.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because your next Mercedes Sprinter van is waiting for you.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Avondale Roofing is knocking on your door. Leaking roof? Man, that's a shame. Call the real pros. We running this game. We patch it, no need to stress. Our crew shows up and cleans up the mess. No drips, no drafts, no drama at all. Just tight new shingles, then a leak-proof hall. Hey.
It's nothing but Avondale, baby. They keep it dry when the weather gets crazy. Hey.
Visit AvondaleRoofing.com. That is AvondaleRoofing.com.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
This fall, there's only one place to be, Camp Randall Stadium. Wisconsin football returns with can't-miss matchups, including Maryland, Iowa, Washington, and more. From the first touchdown to jump around and the celebration of the fifth quarter. Experience the traditions and unforgettable memories that make Wisconsin football so special. Single-game tickets are now on sale. Lock in your spot today by visiting uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS. Wisconsin football game day starts here. We'll see you at Camp Randall.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Is saying someone looks like a person who would make beef Wellington an insult? Molly Brown, Jim Rutledge, Matt Hamilton with you. That's what Molly just said to Matt Hamilton.
No, Matt looks like he would raw dog.
What does that mean? He's not going to cook the meats?
No, like, he was earlier talking about, like, just swallowing a piece of bread, like, whole. That's what I imagine you, like, doing with him.
Just swallowing beef Wellington
I
whole?
don't portion it out. I just eat the whole tenderloin.
Like a dog?
Eat the whole meatloaf.
So I teased you before the break. Primetime Wollersheim, Chrissy Birdsall with us in the Everlight Solar Studio. We're on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. Stream us on the ESPN Wisconsin app. I teased you before the break that there's some reports out there that the Milwaukee Bucks are unwilling to include A.J. Green in any trades with like the Raptors or the Heat. And that doesn't jive with everything else they're doing. I get it. A.J. Green is a nice player, a nice find. I mean, 22 minutes a game last year at 7 points, shooting 43% from three. He's a heck of a shooter. You got to feel proud you found him kind of on the basketball scrap heap. He's 25 years old. But I'd rather trade him than the 2031 first-round pick, like if all things were equal, because to get off, I'm guessing you're including Kyle Kuzma in there. Like at this point, after what you did to Dame, nobody not named Giannis is off limits.
Yeah. I mean, you would think that, like, you need to do everything you can to put a team around Giannis. So they must have some, like, really high hopes for A.J. Green this year if they think he's, like, an untouchable trade asset. That's kind of my stance on this. Like, there's no other reason I can think of that he would be on the off-limits, no trade, other than, like, he is going to be a crucial piece on us putting together a championship team. They must believe that.
I'm just looking. He's 25 years old, which actually is shocking because I feel like he looks like he's like a baby, 22, 23. I guess I just think of him as being the next Pat Connaughton, and maybe the Bucks do too, and that might be the reason why they want to hold on to him.
But I'm saying, like, if you're trading Kyle Kuzma,
like he was a staple to their success last year, right?
But if you're trading Kyle Kuzma and AJ Green is the difference between getting a guy who's a legit starter as opposed to a Kevin Porter Jr., Gary Trent type starter, AJ Green.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Again, if it takes AJ Green and a first round pick to go get a guy who could be like RJ Barrett is a name that's floated. Like, fine. We've already, again, you can't get kind of pregnant.
Oh.
You're pregnant. Like, just
go all in.
Yeah.
Take that for data.
Oh, man.
All right, this is
They believe in AJ Green, and so do I.
I do too, but I still believe in, like, go try to win a chip. If that's what it takes, trade AJ Green. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. You can stream us on the ESPN Wisconsin app. Back at it tomorrow.
The Madison Summer Survival Kit. Cooler full of drinks, a comfy lawn chair, and a large Hut Lovers pizza from Pizza Hut. For just $12.99. Choose from 4 loaded legends. Meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, veggie lovers, and